This one's tough, lads. Unfortunately, I'm not a favourite amongst the Leeds contingent. The fans aren't too happy with me, as I did predict them to get relegated this season. 19th, I feel like I gotta go bold. I have Leeds losing two of their best players, Calvin Phillips and Rafinha. Haven't really looked too promising. No Premier League proven players. They're gonna be well and truly in the bottom half of the table, and I've got them to go down. I hope they don't go down. Yeah, not one of my finest moments, I have to admit. The ball knowledge was not on form that day. However, I'm going to stand by my prediction as much as I get stick for it. Today, Sir BCHD will be attempting to repay the favour. Or in actual fact, just attempt to redeem himself in front of Leeds fans worldwide. Today, we'll be taking on the challenge of trying to transform Leeds into an American-based club via only signing American players in the transfer window and using the youth academy. It's going to be a long and treacherous journey. The path is laid out in front of us. Now it's just time for us to take it. I even found the Arsenal rebuild challenging. If you missed that one, go and check it out. Here at Leeds, with this American-only transfer policy, it is going to be extremely tough. As here is a look at the starting 11 for Leeds. I'm going to allow us to keep the, players we're gifted with right here. So non-American players like Roca, Harrison, Cooper and all that, they can stay. The only way we can improve this team is by signing Americans, but we've already got a decent little duo here in the starting 11 that are going to be the foundations of this team. Brendan Aronson and Adams. The only two Americans on the roster, and it's good that they're already starting week in, week out. I'm not gonna lie, on paper, improvements can be made all across the pitch. I'm interested to see how this American investment is gonna go down. We're planning on playing a pressure on heavy touch defensive style, and in offense, we're looking at fast build up and forward runs. To lead this brand new American revolution, we're handing over the captain's armband to Tyler Adams. The beating heart and soul of the team will be the man to lead the lads out. It's going to be an incredibly busy first summer transfer window, as we have £46 million to spend. We've got a lot to sell. We have funds to raise as 38 players in the team. There's going to be a plethora of exports and imports to attempt to transition this club into the new transfer policy. Have allowed us to check out the youth academy and potentially even sign our homegrown talent, who for now is Patrick Gardner, the centre forward / cam, 81 to 94 potential. He's a perfect little player, isn't he? 6'3", 5-star, high attack and work rate as well. He's pretty much nearly the complete package. Unfortunately though, we haven't been gifted with any Americans that can fit the criteria. That is the only youth academy signing I'm allowing. We're promoting him to the senior team. Is this rebuild gonna flop, or will we take this club to new heights? For now though, it's time to dig down into the transfer business. Now it's the first departure for the rebuild. It is going to be just a little minor outing. It is a 2-year loan deal for Crescencio Somerville. He is off to Braga, spending a time out in Portugal to get some experience. And again, here we have the former club captain. We just stripped him of the armband. Now we have sold him off. It is Cooper, the aged and experienced centre-back. He'll be departing. I actually forgot who we sent him off to. Trabzonspor, the Turkish outfit. Pick him up for £7 million, and that's a pretty decent deal, despite us getting a D. And it's departure after departure. Yet another Englishman leaves, as we're sending big old Patrick Bamford, one of Leeds' heroes in their debut season back in the Premier League. He'll be heading off to Marseille, as we pick up a pretty hefty price for him. £18.1 million. That's going to go straight into the piggy bank and help us out with our investments this summer, and that is a C rating. The first time I've actually gotten that transfer rating. It's a good price. Here we have yet another 2-year loan deal. It is Gelhardt off to Cadiz over in Spain. Another young non-American prospect we've decided to let go. So the first signing of this brand new Leeds era of American talent, it is going to be Weston McKennie arriving from Juventus. We are not wasting any time and getting it underway with a marquee signing. Going to partner up with Tyler Adams in the midfield. Just a box-to-box absolute beast of a player, and I'm sure we can get the best out of him. Here in the Premier League, he is going to thrive. He looks good in white, and it's going to pick up the brand new number 7. He's ready to join his fellow USA compatriots here, and the logistics of the deal, it is a cheeky swap deal. Our first transfer, it is player plus cash, and headed the other way to the Bianconeri is the Spaniard Marc Roca, plus £26 million. We had to jump on him and secure the deal. However, I think that's a pretty decent trade for us. Major W there. Now we've just gone back-to-back with 2 permanent signings. We have secured the services of American star boy Giovanni Reina. We've tempted him over from Borussia Dortmund and guaranteeing him first team minutes here in the Premier League. With the game face scan and all, he is going to be a supreme talent, and McKennie's already there, ready to welcome him to the club. No swap deal this time, just a flat-out transfer fee, and he is going to take the number 8. As we skip on over to the complexities of the deal, it was £28.7 million we had to hand over to the black and yellow. And what I thought was a decent deal, we've just been given an F. That's a bad negotiation. For getting him under 4 million of his asking price, apparently we could have saved 9 million. Where could we have saved that? I don't see a world where Borussia Dortmund would have agreed that deal. Nonetheless, those are two statement signings we've made just there. The 19-year-old teenager has still yet to hit his ceiling. In our last two pickups, we focused a lot on the midfield talent. However, now it is time to build the rear guard with a brilliant defensive prospect coming out of America. It is Chris Richards arriving from Crystal Palace. We've priced him away from Patrick Vieira and he's moving up to Leeds, completing his medical, and we managed to make a little swap deal happen again. It is Diego Llorente headed the other way, plus £3 million to bring in the youngster, and that is an A rating according to our transfer executive. It's an excellent deal and it's going to take some time, but I think he's going to become one of the stalwarts in the starting 11. Just when you thought the defensive signings were going to stop, no, we've gone back to back yet again, and this time picking up the versatile wingback Joe Scally from Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's going to walk through the doors as well as the American Revolution goes from strength to strength. This is yet another youngster with a game face scan, which I'm impressed with. He's going to attempt to make his way through to the starting 11 as he poses alongside Sir BCHD. What a nice wholesome little photo opportunity there. It is yet another swap deal with Luke Ayling headed to Germany. He was involved in the deal, plus 500k. It's a good price, it's a C. As our brand new number 14 arrives, we're trying to make the most out of these swap deals. And finally, we've been doing a lot of purchasing. A lot of money has been headed out the club, but now it is time for one of the promotion candidates, one of the promotion protagonists, such as, say, Klitsch, the Polish midfielder. He will be departing. I actually don't know who to, because I accepted 2 deals. Now it's time to find out which club he'll be off to, and this time it's Cremonese in Serie A, the newly promoted side, picking him up for 3.3 mil. I think we might as well have just called this challenge the swap deals only rebuild, because we have pulled it off yet again. Sir BCHD is a mastermind, pulling the strings behind the scenes, getting deals done, being a productive menace at the moment as we have pounced on Jesus Ferreira, despite him being transferred to Chelsea in this window. I don't know if it's a glitch, I don't know if this should be able to happen, but we've managed to secure him on a permanent deal. 2 transfers in 1 window. I've never seen that happen. I don't know if it's a thing. FIFA 23 is acting different, but we're here to take advantage of all the exploits. The American's set to take on a new adventure, swapping out Chelsea Blue for Leeds. It's a swap deal with Rodrigo headed the other way. Just a straight swap, no cash involved. I don't know what Chelsea were thinking. We have completely swindled the Blues, and hopefully that is not the last time we do so in this video. I know we haven't been used to them in a while, but it is just a flat out player sale. Just a departure going on here. We've got Junior Firpo, recently arrived from Barcelona. He is now departing to Fiorentina. We managed to get £11.5 million for him, so a decent chunk of cash. That just allows Joe Scally to earn his starting spot in the team. And some more sales going on right now. Just another player to get off the wage bill to shorten the squad size down. We also do have so many players out on loan that I should have covered earlier, but we've got Forshaw. He is now departing the club. Actually, Sonny Perkins will be the first deal to pop up here with a 12-month loan deal. And there we go, Adam Forshaw joining Southampton for 2.3 million. Now, the only department we hadn't strengthened in yet for an American edition was the goalkeeping spot, and it's an Arsenal backup goalkeeper to join us here. Turner will be arriving at Leeds, the first shot stopper we've actually gone ahead and acquired. He's 77 overall. He's a decent backup for Meslier. I'm not quite confident he's going to take him over in the number 1 spot, but it's just one of those additions that's going to add to the American quota. For £9 million, we have somehow managed to just get this negotiation over the line. The deal has been made to bring the American World Cup 2014 hero here to Leeds. It is Jonathan Brooks, arriving from Benfica. The bold man is ready to join the defense, meeting his brand new teammates. He hasn't got a game face though, nor a 2D profile picture, which irks me, but £12.7 million. That was the last of our transfer budget. We have exhausted all the funds in the first summer transfer window. It's an F negotiation according to the board, but Sir BCHD is unfazed, as we have the big American defensive unit joining us here as our last acquisition. Finally arrived here on deadline day. We've exhausted all of our funds. No other sales, no other, acquisitions arriving to the club. We're just going to go ahead and flat out skip deadline day. The 10-hour process will be bypassed, and I told you, I warned you guys it was going to be a surgical summer, and the transfer business came through with the heat. A couple of loan deals just to close out the window, like Hedgerley, the Norwegian defender, off the bottom on a 1-year deal, but we managed to secure some extraordinary talents. The player turnover was next level, but that's just what you need when you start these kinds of challenges. The American transitional phase has officially begun, as this is our starting 11. We've gone with the 4-1-2-1-2, changing things up tactically. The American diamond, of Rayner, Aronson, Adams, and McKennie. It's a wall even Donald Trump would be proud of himself. So we're going to go ahead and simulate the first season to see how these frat boys get on in the Prem. We're currently living the American dream here with Leeds, as Sir BCHD bags the Manager of the Month award to send off the season as we survive in 13th. Obviously, we're aiming to push a little bit higher up the table, but it's a lower to mid-tier table finish. Ended up with 46 points, well surviving the drop as Southampton, Bournemouth, and Brentford all go back down to the Championship. But looking up towards the top of the table where we want to be, it is Manchester City down in 6th, Liverpool win the title, and Arsenal came oh so close. But wow, that is Manchester City flopping. That is something I'm yet to see this year in FIFA 23. Definitely a lot to improve on when it comes to our league situation, as in the FA Cup, we made it all the way to the final and lost out to 6th place Manchester City on penalties 5-4. So close to securing a piece of silverware as we beat Liverpool in the semi-finals and thrashed Southampton. That would have been a fairy tale run to cap off this first season, as in the Carabao Cup, Chelsea won that on penalties against Arsenal, and we got knocked out in the quarterfinals 4-1 against Newcastle. PSG won the Champions League 3-0 against Chelsea in the final, and over in the Europa League, it was Turkish outfit Trabzonspor to win 4-2 against Benfica. 13th place Prem finish and an FA Cup final appearance. Let's take a look and see who Sir BCHD's American heroes were. What signings stepped up to the plate and showed their worth, as we have Jesus Ferreira, who was a last-minute little pickup. Getting him on that straight-up swap deal from Chelsea paid dividends. 24 goals and 10 assists for the 22-year-old, a +4 to his overall, and 34 goal contributions, double figures in both departments, just like Giovanni Reyna. The 20-year-old with 14 goals and 17 assists. It's just a dynamic playmaker we've got right there. And Weston McKennie, the beaten heart and soul of the team, with 11 goals and 7. Gardner, the homegrown talent, in off the bench with 9 goals and 1. A real-life American signing by Leeds, scoring 6 goals and 7. We converted Luis Sinisterra into a centre forward, and he grew a +5, despite him only scoring 4 goals this season. That was terrible stats-wise, but all of a sudden, dynamic potential has taken over. Tyler Adams, the captain, with a juicy +4. The versatile 24-year-old with 2 goals and 1 assist. As we scroll on down, we had so many players on loan who we've got to deal with come season 2. 2 long-term injuries for Chris Richards, and Weston McKennie is going to send off the season on a little bit of a bittersweet note, as our highest valued player is Sinisterra, but in terms of the Americans, it's Weston McKennie at 40.5 million. We weren't really expected to challenge for European qualification this year, as Sir BCHD managed to bob and weave all the potential sacking opportunities. The board still see him in good light. It's a green thumbs up. As we head on into season 2, we're going to get a second chance. The summer is going to provide for more American signing opportunities, so let's see what we can pull off. In the financial department, it's a cool, calm £52 million to greet us for season 2. Nothing groundbreaking, but definitely something we can work with in this market. Oh my god, check this out. Just got an email saying the transfer budget this year's been increased by 258k. Why, thank you, Leeds board, for being so generous with me. Here we go then. The transfer merry-go-round has just spun back up again, and the momentum is heating up this summer as we introduce a brand new American talent. We had to wait a year. He was on loan at Milan. He's returned to Barcelona, and Serginho Dest will be making the switch over from the Catalan club, just like Junior Firpo did a couple of seasons ago. However, the American is ready to make his debut in the Premier League, repping the Leeds white, standing next to Sir BCHD, and he joins his fellow American compatriots alongside him, as it's a swap deal. Rasmus Christensen plus £1.5 million will be departing over to the Camp Nou, as he is a good squad player. I think he's going to be a wonderful starter for us. He's still only 22, but there does come with a few downsides. Although his versatility can play a right mid and left back on either flank, he is unfortunately injury prone. That is one of his traits, and in career mode, you know that is the bane of your existence when you've got injury prone players. Let's cross our fingers and hope he stays fit. Here in season 2, we're not messing about. So BCHD is getting things done, and look who walks through the doors. It is Captain America himself. President Pulisic will be arriving as he says goodbye to Chelsea and makes his way on over to the Leeds Revolution. McKennie and Giovanni Reyna will be playing alongside their national team captain as he picks up the number 10. He is looking like the marquee signing, the poster boy for this Leeds rebuild. He has arrived on a swap deal, of course. It's swap deal season, baby. As Luis Sinisterra was sacrificed and offered up to Chelsea, they gladly accept. There was no fee involved, but it was a bad negotiation because Sinisterra's value was a bit more than Pulisic. I couldn't help that. It was the only pawn we had to offer. It was our only only option in order to lure Pulisic over. And at 24, you've probably seen that our formation doesn't really have any wingers, so we're probably going to have to convert him into a brand new position, which hopefully will spike up his overall and upgrade some of his stats. As again, just like Serginho Dest, he is injury prone. Two amazing signings to start off season 2, but unfortunately they come with a bit of career mode mileage. And I know it's taken a while, you're probably thinking, finally, we have another transfer, but this time it doesn't involve a swap deal. It's alright, so BCHD has found another transfer method to use, and this time it is going to be just a straight up cash offer, £14 million. I know, we haven't seen one for a while, as Cameron Carter-Vickers will be making his way over from Celtic. We've stolen him off Ange Postecoglou, and it's just a backup centre back, a nice defensive option to have. As Brooks was getting older, we slightly overpaid, but we just had to make sure we had enough defensive backup for this department. We managed to get things in order and make sure our purchases were on top. We made them a priority headed into this window. Now it is time for a couple of departures. We've got Stuart Dallas, a Leeds staple in the past couple seasons. We managed to get £5 million out of him as he departs to Ajax. It's a player returning from loan, the Angolan Helder Costa. He's out the door packing his bags to Fiorentina for £3.6 million. Shifting out some more deadwood and ensuring we're cutting the wage bill down. And this time a couple more minor departures as Ian Poveda will be departing to Paris FC for £2 million. This time it is a major departure, one of the biggest sales of the video so far. We've got Jack Harrison. Yes, I know he has been on the bench. Leeds fans everywhere love him, but in this rebuild he is surplus to requirements, not American, and the Englishman will be departing to fellow Premier League club Wolves for 16.9 mil. Don't worry about the bad negotiation skills, we've got it under control. It's again a player that falls into the returning from loan camp and surplus to requirements, not good enough to be in our starting 11 nor American, and this time it is the Welshman Roberts departing the club for a measly £3 million. He'll be headed off to Mallorca over in Spain. Now the American star boy Gianluca Busio, who bursted onto the scene with Kansas City a couple years ago, now is joining us over here in the Prem. He arrives from Venezia in Serie B. He's got some Serie A experience, some top flight football under his belt, and I've decided to acquire his services just so we can get the dynamic potential working, get a few development plans on him, and hopefully he grows into being a midfield powerhouse. For £17.8 million, we managed to prize him away from the Lagoon, and he will be a decent backup, a substitute off the bench for the midfield. It's an interesting story with this signing, as we have Yunus Musa. He arrives from Schalke in this save, however originally from Valencia. He actually changed his nationality from English to American, so now he plays or is eligible for the US men's national team, and here he is joining us at Leeds United. Again, the same old cutscene, and is here to fill kind of the same role as Gianluca Busio. I just want to grow him, get the development plans flowing on him through training, and hopefully he's going to grow into an absolute beast for £16 million. And I didn't actually realize until I've looked further into it, approaching him to sign, he's pretty versatile. I thought he was just a winger, however he can play in the midfield as well, CM/CDM, and can play a right mid, so get a man that can do it all. So now we have reached the summer transfer deadline day, and I'm going to go ahead and skip it. We've reached our transfer business. We're pretty content with it. We had to also renew a few contracts behind the scenes, do some admin work, as we're left with a £20 million emergency fund, just in case we go into crisis mode come January, or the board want us to complete some objectives in order to keep our job. We've got some financial freedom to do so, as this is our starting 11. Headed on into season 2, we've already got some US men's national team call-ups. We can now boast a full entire outfield starting team, however Meslier will still be the man trusted in between the sticks. We're also attempting to convert Christian Pulisic into a centre forward via the trainings, so that's still a work in progress. Squad depth of 35, and the full team at full strength are ready to take on season 2. And let's cross our fingers and hope it is enough to not get the sack. USA! USA from 13th, climbing up the table to 6th. Leeds American Revolution has crept up. Is it a Europa League spot, or I think it might just be Conference League? Nonetheless, we secure some kind of European football for next season, as Liverpool in the league, Man City behind them by 1 point in runners-up, and United and Chelsea both secure that top 4 spot, as we were 6 points away from Spurs. Leaping above our contenders like Aston Villa and West Ham, that is improvement. Our projection is skyrocketing skyrocketing up the league table right now, as getting relegated it is West Brom, Sheffield United and Crystal Palace headed back down to the Championship. We weren't able to achieve yet another magical FA Cup run, as we were knocked out in round 6 to Spurs 2-1. As the Carabao Cup saw Liverpool win 4-3 on penalties against City in the final, we didn't even make the quarters. Again, Spurs knock us out 2-1, this time in round 4. The Champions League was taken home by PSG again with a slim 1-0 victory over Milan in the final, and over in the Europa League, Manchester City were knocked down into the Europa League and ended up taking that trophy home against the Europa League specialists of Villarreal 3-2. And it looks like the Saudi money is coming through for Newcastle as they take home the Conference League, a competition which will be competing in come season 3. Yeah, the board status in us is weak at the moment. 54 manager rating, we might be on thin ice, not gonna lie. Now let's take a full depth analysis of the United States talent. What kind of numbers were they able to put up? Skyrocketing to 6th in the table, it is Jesus Ferreira, slowly carving himself a Leeds United legacy and potentially gonna have a statue built outside the ground if he keeps up these numbers. The 23-year-old now up to an 82 overall with 43 goal contributions in 44 appearances, 33 goals, 10 assists, our top goal scorer 2 years in a row, and Giovanni Reina with another tip-top season, 24 goals and 14 assists. Double figures in both departments. These two are just tearing it up at the moment, as Christian Pulisic came through this season, our number 10 with 20 goals and 7 assists. Brendan Aronson from midfield getting himself 6 and 6, as Weston McKennie goes up a +2 to an 84. We've got Tyler Adams with 10 goal contributions. Unfortunately for the 25-year-old captain, unable to grow in overall, which is quite disappointing, as Gianluca Buzio is right behind him. He might be replacing him in the starting 11 come season 3, only with 20 appearances, 2 goals and a +3 to his overall. Serginho Dest doing well at right back, now growing to an 82. Yunus Musa, again a case of the youth talent is coming through. We've got to be patient, we've got to let dynamic potential kick in, as our highest valued talent right now, our biggest asset, is Captain America himself, growing a +3, converted into the centre forward and transitioned pretty well this year with a market value of £77 million. We managed to keep our heads above water in the season performance review. The board have stuck by us, and they know that Sir BCHD is the only man for the job to take Leeds in the right direction. As we wipe the slate clean, it is European football awaiting us in season 3. We can now officially confirm that we have secured Europa League football for this season, drawn into Group E alongside RB Salzburg, Braga and Helsinki. So it's going to be a challenging time. Hopefully the lads can really set their imprint on this continental scene and make a deep run in the competition. Now we have this year's transfer budget in season 3. It has grown up to £77 million. Had a little bit of a wage increase, but nonetheless it is still a decent chunk of cash to play with. I'm not gonna lie, I actually thought this guy was a lot younger when I first started this video. Zach Steffen from Manchester City has been a backup goalkeeper for the Citizens for quite some time now. We've got Matt Turner as a backup on the bench, but I've decided to go for Zach Steffen, who's just another option, another pair of hands to keep handy. Thought he could have outgrown Meslier if he was maybe a couple of years younger, but he'll throw on the goalkeeper jersey as we pick him up on a permanent deal for £14 million. We've gone ahead and had to bite the bullet. We aren't really that financially strict anymore. Like, we have a bit of freedom when it comes to our purchases, and now we've activated the release clause for Tolkien, an American upcoming youngster that I have never really heard of before. Just saw him pop up on the feed, and we've gone in and signed the versatile defender. He's from the New York Red Bulls, arriving from the MLS for £16.1 million. I know it's an F grade, but we're just going to have to take the L on that one, as the 21-year-old can play at left back, left wing back, and CDM. And if he wasn't a decent player, I mean, we just had to go ahead and pick him up on name basis alone. It is Reggie the Cannon, big man coming in at right back, yet another versatile wing back. He's arriving from Boa Vista over in the Portuguese league, full face scan and everything, which I love. I can't believe it's taken us this long, but yet another pretty expensive purchase here at Leeds. Don't think the financial board is going to be too happy with us. He arrives permanently for £30.4 million. That was his release clause, and again, it's going to be another F signing. But hey, as our transfer budget dwindles down, the squad depth and our options in off the bench grows exponentially. Here we have one of the most hyped up talents in the US men's national team, probably since Christian Pulisic. It is Ricardo Pepi. Recently just made his European move in real life, as he lit up the scene for the national team, scoring a couple goals here and there, and, you know, just launching his career onto the world map. Getting his name out there he's joining the USA Revolution here at Leeds, and he joins us from Augsburg for £13 million. A nice little backup option, a super sub to get in off the bench, and we just had to get the youngster involved. Here we've got my first free agent signing of a FIFA video so far this year. In FIFA 23, it is Georgi Mihailovic. A very Slavic sounding last name, however, the centre forward cam / centre mid again is extremely versatile, and we're going to pick him up on a free, which is even better. He arrives all the same, he makes his entrance in, and again is going to be another brilliant player to have just in case a little injury crisis is in on our hands. We have the man for £0 from the free agency, and that is an A rating. Of course it is. A player value of £19 million, and we got him for nothing. Now here's a look at our best starting 11 on paper. We're starting to do a little experimentation right here. We've included Gianluca Buzio into the starting 11, meanwhile changing the captain Tyler Adams, and we're converting him into a centre back. We're at least trying to anyway, to see if he can progress and, you know, enhance his career, get his overall up, because our defense is probably our weakest department right now. And we can also boast that we have a full American substitutes bench as well. Just not an American starting goalkeeper, but we can let that slide. I'm sure Meslier is going to get his citizenship very, very soon. That is our starting team this season. Let's see if they can get the job done. It'll be interesting to see if they can fight on multiple fronts this season. Can we finally qualify for Europe? Let's find out. Here we are. We've reached the end of the season. We're still in good stead with the board. We've got that green thumbs up. So BCHD takes home the main manager of the month award, so that's a good sign. As in the Premier League, we ended up finishing 4th, right behind Aston Villa, who also secured Champions League football. Manchester City take home the title quite comfortably, and that is a pretty consistent push upwards to the table from 13th to 6th to now 4th. Our projected rise has been absolutely insane as we deny Spurs and Liverpool the chance to get Champions League. Man United are down in 9th, Arsenal lacking in 12th, Everton pushing towards the bottom end of the table as Fulham, Southampton and Watford all get relegated back down to the Championship. In other competitions, we made it to the FA Cup final yet again, and this time it was Bournemouth to let us down in a 5-goal thriller, 3-2 in the end. We managed to somehow fumble the bag there. Chance for silverware goes begging again, as in the Carabao Cup, it was Spurs to win that against Villa 2-1. What has happened to Aston Villa in this save? They've just gone God mode as we got knocked out in the quarterfinals 5-0 to City. Manchester City did also take home the Champions League 2-1 in an all-English final against Liverpool, as over in the Europa League, there we go, baby. We didn't even need to finish in the top 4 because we went on to win the Europa League, or the other way around. We just ended up not needing to win the Europa League, but we went out and did it anyway, and the Americans get their first piece of silverware on board. They can have that one to the trophy cabinet, as here in the group stages, they finished on top of Group E, 13 points, taking them to the round of 16, where they saw out Roma 3-2. Against Spurs in the quarterfinals, it was a 5-2 aggregate win, and over in the semis, it was a 3-1 win on aggregate against Frankfurt. They were worthy winners, as Real Madrid won against Napoli in the Europa Conference League final. I have full belief this save has gotten to such a weird point. Something fishy is happening. There's something suspicious going down in this save, and I don't know what it is. We bottled the cup final, but Sir BCHD finally can boast about something, as Leeds back in Europe's elite competition, but also winning the Europa as the cherry on top, as this season's top goal scorer was Giovanni Reina, a tricky number 8 with 35 goals and 16 assists, which only warrants him a +1 to an 86. That is absolutely criminal. Dynamic potential needs to be working in our favour, as Christian Pulisic has reached an 88, the highest rated player in the squad. 60 appearances, 26 goals and 11 assists. We actually had 5 players get double figures in both departments. Gianluca Buzio had a standout season. He broke out this year, alongside Weston McKennie with 11 in both departments, and Jesus Ferreira, who was usually our top goal scorer, has been notched down to 3rd place with 23 goals. Brendan Aronson really hasn't impressed me with his growth whatsoever, because he has only grown up a +1, not even in the 80s, so we might have to get a new starting mid at this rate. Tyler Adams, I don't know how his centre-back conversion training went, but he's still the captain at an 81 overall. We had Mihailovic off the bench with 3 goals and 2 assists. Joe Scully is now fully converted into a left-back, as Yunus Musa gets a +1 upgrade. We had Reggie Cannon up a +2 as well, as he managed to get 30 appearances. Chris Richards is another defender which I thought would just go through the roof in terms of growth and development. However, it's only a +1 despite him starting most games, as our highest valued asset right now is Christian Pulisic. The 88 overall star is now valued at £87 million. Now, with a 71 moderate manager rating, we should be good to still be in the front seat for Season 4. Now, I would say that is a pretty successful season. The FA Cup, if we ended up winning that, would have just been the cherry on top. However, However, we're going to end the season there. Our job security is not in the mud, and we can continue forward into the 4th campaign with more additions on the way, a debut Champions League season up ahead. We've got a lot to look forward to, and hopefully the lads from America can push on. Now this year, this is where the war chest gets implemented. Leeds' board has provided us with nearly £150 million to spend, but what we can spend it on due to our American transfer restrictions is pretty limited right now. Now I can see this being literally our only purchase this season, and it's not even going to cost us that much, not even providing a little dent in the transfer budget, but we have just gotten the highest rated American player I could have found on the transfer market, and we've signed him up straight to the squad. It is Alan Sonora arriving from Club Brugge for £20 million. We've got him for his base valuation, and he's just a decent cheeky midfield option to have for us just in case any injuries happen. The 26-year-old is arriving in his prime, and like I said, is one of the best talents on the market for us to pick up. Now we found ourselves in a bit of a conundrum here at the club as one of our main centre-backs, Carter Vickers, has sent in a transfer request. He's one of our best defenders as well, so we've had to turn to some backup here. We have got Robinson arriving from Spain, another man with a face scan, so he passed the test there. He's got himself a face scan. He arrives from Real Valladolid. We activated his release clause. Miles for 29.4 million. It's only a 78 overall, but hey, he's one of the best players, one of the best American players that we are yet to sign yet, and no real player is going to upgrade our team, nor be a real starting 11 contender. Here is how the team is looking. We've got Buzio moving up into that Brendan Aronson position. Adams drops back into CDM as Carter Vickers and Richards will be the main centre-back pairing. Here we have it, finally, Leeds back in the Champions League. Our name's been pulled out of the pot. It has taken a while, but we've been drawn into Group F alongside of Real Madrid, the Conference League winners, Sporting Club Portugal, and Dinamo Zagreb. A challenging group, but hey, we've got to have some faith. In terms of transfer business, it's probably one of our least exciting windows to date, only with 2 arrivals, spending just shy of £50 million, but hey, look at the talent we have on our hands here. In the American rebuild, things are tough. USA, they've got a lot of young stars on the rise, but none of those players have reached their dynamic potentials yet, and they're just not good enough to join our starting 11. There's no need to sign them, really. I should have probably picked them up earlier. It would have helped if we started in a lower division, but hey, that is the Premier League for you. These are our best options we have, and it's just not worth it. We're already in the Champions League, and they're just not Champions League quality players. What can I say? The board's expecting big things. Here is the starting 11 headed into Season 4. Now, I am the epitome of confused right now because we are in a Champions League final. However, the board are not really happy with us. We're in a critical current status condition here with a 45 manager rating. Just because we didn't win the Premier League, we've thrown all our eggs into one basket. As our domestic success hasn't impressed, we haven't won the league whatsoever, but continentally, the boys have gone all the way. But we're going to check every other competition first. We came in 4th with 72 points. Liverpool take out the league. As we scroll on down, we've got the likes of Chelsea down in 13th. This save has thrown out some crazy happenings as Everton get relegated. Burnley and Middlesbrough will join them in the Championship next year. We have the FA Cup, which we have stumbled at the final hurdle a couple of times. It was Leeds, it was Leicester to win that one against Blackburn in the finals. So many weird results. I don't know if it's just FIFA 23 or this save, but we also did get eliminated in the early rounds with a 3-1 knockout to Liverpool in round 3. And here we have the Carabao Cup, which was won by City in a 5-goal thriller against Liverpool. We were knocked out 6-5 on aggregate, man. Okay, these results are absolutely crazy. Over here in the UEFA Super Cup, we did get one over Manchester City, so that's a nice little piece of silverware to add to the cabinet. 3-0 convincing win. We managed to take that one out, and here in the Champions League final, you might have seen it earlier, we're up against PSG. We ended up finishing top of that group against Real Madrid with 13 points, defeating Bayern 5-3 on aggregate in the round of 16, and over in the quarters, taking down Real Madrid again, facing up against them, and coming back to win that one 7-3. What? 7-3 on aggregate. Something must have gone down in that game as we took down Manchester City 6-5, just like they did to us in the Carabao Cup. I am so confused. PSG won 6-0 on aggregate against Atletico. We're currently living in one of the weirdest timelines right now as this Leeds squad has managed to produce masterclass after masterclass to stumble into a Champions League final whilst just getting into 4th. I've got to go and check who were the main performers this season, as it's Jesus Ferreira. Probably scored over 100 goals for the club across all these years. Our number 9 has only gone up a +1, but he's back to winning the Golden Boot with 35 goals. We've had yet another 5 players do double digits in both departments, and it's Christian Pulisic, Captain America himself, to hit that 90 overall, 29 goals and 15 assists. Despite Ferreira scoring more, he didn't grow as high into the 90s. 30s, so dynamic potential might be a little bit broken. It might need some tweaking. However, Giovanni Reina again did not struggle with 17 goals and 11. We have Gianluca Buzio. As soon as we started including him into the starting 11 a bit more, his trajectory just skyrocketed with 16 goals and 11 assists. And then we have Weston McKennie, just all these +1s, just not enough growth going on right now, but the performances are there to show for it. Pepe off the bench with 5 goals, and Tyler Adams, the captain, 3 goals and 2 assists from the deep line playmaker. As we continue to scroll down, Chris Richards did let me down, as in his defensive performances might have been there, but just in terms of growth, didn't get into the 80s, which is quite surprising. It's like they've got the appearances, they've got the training, the numbers to back things up, but the growth, it just isn't happening. Dynamic potential has only kicked in for a certain few players. However, they've been together for so many seasons now. The club and country chemistry is there, and they have now reached the Champions League final, which we will go out and play, as Meslier kept 10 clean sheets as our only non-American player on the pitch. It is, of course, our only 90 rated player. It's Christian Pulisic with a market valuation of 111.5 million. Our Leeds lads are the definition of European specialists. No domestic titles to their name, however, with a UEFA Super Cup and a Europa League under their belt. They're going head-to-head with the oil giants of PSG, fighting it out at the London Stadium. Those are the two lineups. They've got Mbappe, Dembele, and Oyarzabal leading the line, with Tonali and Kevin De Bruyne in the middle. No Messi or Neymar, but yeah, they've still got world-class talent all over the pitch who aren't American. Enough chat, enough hype. Here it is. And after Sir BCHD's terrible manager ratings, our strict transfer policy, and limited transfer budgets, we've been able to climb our way through to fight for the Holy Grail. Reina, Pulisic, Ferreira, where would we be without them? They've been the main protagonists to lead us to glory now, and it all comes down to this. We're going to kick things off in the tie-dye kit. Here goes nothing. PSG, show us what you've got. Cut that one back to Tonali. The Italian finds a ball inside. De Bruyne or Oyarzabal, they've just carved our defense open, but Carter Vickers was there to block. These kits actually aren't that different. From far away, they look pretty similar, and I've just completely ruined that counter-attack, but these aren't doing wonders on my eyes right now. De Bruyne, a ball over the top. Meslier has to come and claim that. Come on, son. What is he doing? And he gets caught out in possession, unfortunately. Tyler Adams has to track back, and look at that ball through to Mbappe. It is a killer. As Richards now tries to defend Oyarzabal, and he recovers well. And PSG are just relentless in their attacks. Back on over to Hakim. We've got Mbappe, and oh, look at the pace. Look at the pace, man. He's just a flash, entering the box with ease. And oh my goodness me, it's Dembele. His fellow countryman denies him of the opening goal. Already this midfield battle is completely brutal at the moment. Mbappe shut down nicely, and McKennie finds a teammate. We've got Serginho Dest, Pulisic back inside, and Reina carves it open. It's Ferreira with the first shot, but nicely deflected into the path of Donnarumma. Tonali shuts that down too, and Carter Vickers again versus Mbappe. It's going to be an interesting battle as De Bruyne finds him again. It's back to De Bruyne, and Meslier gets down low to deny him of the first. And Reina, can he find that ball? The delivery was perfect, and Ferreira has to chip it over. What was Donnarumma doing? And how is he going ahead and miss that? The pressure from right in front. Donnarumma, where is he gone? The Italian just had a brain snap. But luckily for him, Ferreira fired it over the bar. Look at him. Tricky footwork. Little footwork. Meslier had to be aware of the danger. We've got Buzio. Options on the inside. Reina. Oh, look at Pulisic here. We've got an opportunity, an opening. He's going to cut it back inside. He's going to find the sweaty through to Buzio. And no, it's Ferreira, our top goal scorer, netting his 36th of the season, and in emphatic style. A lovely team goal there. President Pulisic being unselfish and given to the poor with that assist. It's a classic sweaty goal as the PSG defense were all over the place. Donnarumma flat-footed, and our number 9 slots that one home to open the scoring. The deadlock is broken in the big dance. So BCHD emphatic on the sideline, and it's a 31st minute breakthrough for the boys. Dembele, Carter Vickers cleans him up. Back on over through to Mbappe, and they're gonna get a chance to equalize. Ousmane Dembele on the outside of the box, needing a delivery inside, finds its way through to Oyarzabal, and Meslier had to palm that one away. Big ball inside to Buzio, and he's just gone for the Hail Mary ball through to Christian Pulisic. He's got Mukiele to beat. Nice little skills on the inside, waiting for the cavalry. The backup brigade is arriving as Weston McKennie cuts it back, through ball. Buzio's there, and it's Donnarumma who had to get down low and deny him. As it's Buzio, his pass was way overblown, but it's found Pulisic nonetheless. As As he cuts back inside, there are options lurking in the middle. Weston McKennie, and again, it's another shot denied by Donnarumma. That is going to be it. The Leeds boys are 1-0 up by the slimmest of margins. They've got the advantage, and that's all that matters. But the second 45's up next, and it is shaping up to be one dramatic Champions League final classic, so stay tuned. Mbappe, oh no, Richards has made a severe and honest lapse of judgment. Oh, Richards versus Mbappe, he's done well, and that was clean tackle to deny the Frenchman of a goal-scoring opportunity. We've got Pulisic, we've got one of our own here, as Ferreira fires it through, but PSG still very much in this. Hakimi, it's Scully who completely misses the challenge, and here we've got Oyarzabal and Meslier. Oh, I thought he saved that. No, it's Mbappe to fire it back. PSG's number 7 fires it through to the equalizer, feeding off the crumbs. He responds to the save, and unfortunately, our lead didn't last very long. And their superstar Frenchman evens the playing fields right here. They refuse to go away, and PSG is still very much in it. We go again, but it's Carter Vickers who's been a brick wall in defense tonight, and one of these counterattacks need to work, as Weston McKennie finds it inside to Reina, and Buzio's through ball. Ferreira, limited options here. Back on the outside, Reina, it's opened up like the Red Sea, and Christian Pulisic off the post and in. And Captain America, with 12 minutes left on the clock, has placed it to perfection and has got the Leeds boys into the lead here. 2-1 up. We need to play out the rest of the game, but I think it was Reina who found him again. PSG's didn't pick up their markers, and they let the man run through on goal. Couple of little touches here and there, and Donnarumma, it's the trusty number 10, the marquee man, our 90 overall champion. The big game player comes through. Here again, it's Pulisic, and it's just opened up. Here's PSG. Somehow have just given up, and Donnarumma made sure it wasn't 3. As Oyarzabal back inside, it's Ousmane Dembele. Tyler Adams misses the challenge, and again we miss another challenge, and PSG, Dembele saw the headlines and went for glory. Dembele on the attack. We're into added time. 2 minutes on the clock here. Buzio misses a challenge. We're trying to not get it into extra time, as Richards, don't tell me that's a penalty. Oh, he's offside. Oh my goodness. I think all Leeds fans' hearts sank just as the referee blew his whistle, but it wasn't a penalty, nor was it a goal-scoring opportunity, nor did they find the equaliser, as PSG fumbled at the final stage to Leeds United and their United States talisman. It was Pulisic to fire us into the lead, the 2 strikers with 2 golden opportunities, and it was Mbappe to get one back for them. Unfortunately, it didn't go through for them. We have Sir BCHD with his 100% record in Champions League finals so far in FIFA 23, and the USA rebuild has gone from strength to strength. The continental specialists, they only know how to do it in Europe. The domestic stage we don't need to talk about. Nonetheless, it has been an absolute blast. 4 seasons of action-packed transfer business, rising this team to success, and that man, Tyler Adams, the captain, will lift the trophy, and that will be that. Sir BCHD, again, getting his hands on another piece of silverware, and this time it's the Holy Grail. The ribbons are white and blue. They've gone ahead and won it in the tie-dye shirt as well, which is just for the culture. It's forever become iconic now, and that has been the rebuild, guys. Who should be next? What other challenges should we take on? As if you went ahead and enjoyed this one, make sure to drop it a like down below, hit subscribe, turn on the notifications so you never miss out on any future content arriving to the channel. Follow me on all my socials. The links are down in the description, of course. As always, I've been Sir VCHD. Hopefully you have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the very next video.
I've been trying not to work through the same. Every day this shit feel the same. I've been trying to work through this pain. Every day it won't go away. I've been trying. So tell me, who do I call? Now you gone, you let me hear. I got my back on the wall. I've been trying. So tell me, who do I call? Now you gone, you let me hear. Now I'm losing control, but I'm trying, and I'm fine. That's what I keep on telling myself every night. And I got all these problems, I can never justify them. And I know I need help, but I don't ever take the time. And I keep this shit low. I keep it silent. They tell me it's gonna do me harm if I keep it inside, man.